This is a pretty crazy home invasion that erupted in like epic gunfire in Miami. Now, this is actually a little bit old. This happened during the COVID era, but I think there's some lessons to be learned here. So let's watch this video.
Show me, my son is in here.
A blast at home, and not in a good way.
Everybody got onto the ground. My son just stayed there, like right here on the couch.
How old is your son?
7. Grabbed him, and I ran straight to the bathroom. Shooting at me. They shot at me about 7 times, 6-7 times.
A home invasion on the 4th of this month. Do you consider yourself lucky to be alive right now?
Yeah, I do.
Here's how it began. As a guest pulls into the driveway of the Northwest 86th Avenue address, 2 men are seen rushing the SUV. That driver, the family's guest, is forced inside by 2 robbers as a group in the home watches the Heat in the NBA Finals. 2 men with guns order everyone to the ground. This as Pacheco, who is in the bedroom, grabs her pistol.
I said, don't shoot me, my son is in here.
Don't shoot me, my son is in here.
You can imagine a mother's fear as she's inside of her room, which is being riddled with bullets. This door is brand new now, the glass replaced because it was shattered when bullets came through, but the bullet holes remain elsewhere, including in the closet door, in the bathroom door, on the headboard of the bed, and on the television. Her husband and another rush in after the crooks fired their shots throughout the home, fortunately missing everyone. Those robbers stole watches and jewels from the group, fired, and then ran.
Okay, so is this true? We got to look at this real quick. We're gonna go.
Show me, my son.
Hold on a second. Can you guys hear me? All right. So Tiff said, number one, like, what did you say here?
Well, I was like, that's interesting attire for the news interview, and then I noticed that they blurred out her behind, so I was like, oh, she's got company over. And
you know what? I thought it was kind of strange that like your husband has all his friends over and you're like,
no, but wait,
not dressed in the next room.
You guys missed it. There's a camera mounted over top of the bed.
Like on the bed board or on the ceiling?
Like here's the bed frame, and there's a camera mounted right here on the wall, like pointed down towards the bed.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. With those 3 things, right? You have company over and they're blurring out your... It kind of looks like she's wearing a thong.
Just a thong.
But here's the funny thing, though. Like, I mean, whatever, if I had that body. But I wonder what they do in the house.
OnlyFans, Steph. OnlyFans.
Maybe.
All right, so...
Yeah, okay, she's wearing a thong. I was right. Because, yeah, it's different if, like, you're in your house by yourself, but... They're having like a party or whatever, right? Like people are coming over to watch the game. So is that like normal attire that you wear when people are coming? And then she said her kid is in the room. So I don't know if the kid was really in the room.
I don't know.
Anyway, besides all of that, weird little things that I noticed in that video, pretty crazy, right? How they just started like blasting rounds right at her.
Yeah.
When she went out to scream that.
Yeah, so what I noticed from that, I mean, so these bad guys, they saw somebody come in. They knew when the guy was pulling up, right? Like, these situations are either planned, and they're, like, premeditated, and they're executed properly, or they're just acts of totally random acts, right? I don't believe this is a random act. This looked like they knew somebody was coming. They knew some dudes inside had expensive watches, lots of jewelry, all that stuff, right? And they kind of strategically played it out.
Yeah. It looks like it's probably something planned, and that's like Ryan and I were talking, like, how do you avoid this type of thing? Because, I mean, the way it happened, there's not really a way to avoid that, but I think we can be selective with who we kind of share our home with and, like, what possessions we have. These people obviously knew that they had expensive watches and stuff like that. So that's just something to keep in mind, right? Like, you don't think someone's going to break into your house over, you know, maybe a couple $100 watch, but there's people that will over that. So
it might not be a couple $100 watch. I mean, it could be a $20,000 watch, a $50,000 watch. I mean, we just don't know, right?
Yeah, I just can't even fathom buying one of those.
Okay, so is it legal? Let's see. So does this scenario fall under the Florida Castle Doctrine Law?
Yes, it would follow under the Castle Doctrine. However, just because of like what I seen, maybe not if they were engaged in any kind of illegal activity.
Okay, let's get to what the law says first. So it says a person who is in a dwelling residence in which the person has a right to be has no duty to retreat and has the right to stand his or her ground and use or threaten to use deadly force. So this is the actual like justified use of force statute right here. A person who unlawfully and by force enters or attempts to enter a person's dwelling, residence, or occupied vehicle is presumed to be doing so with the intent to commit an unlawful act involving force or violence. So here are the like critical questions you have to ask before you determine if the Castle Doctrine Law is actually justified. So number one, did the attacker enter unlawfully?
Yes, although that could actually be put in question.
No, because I would say that was more of like a home invasion. They had that dude at gunpoint and they like forced him.
They weren't invited. Yeah.
Open the door, we're gonna shoot you, right? Like that's definitely an unlawful entry. Number two, did the attacker enter by force?
Yep.
I think that would qualify.
Yeah.
Is the use of deadly force a reasonable response?
Once they started shooting bullets and actually even just having the gun out, I mean, yes.
Yeah. It's game on, right? All right. So where is that line in the sand?
When they come barging in with guns a-blaring.
Yeah, as soon as they come in.
Yeah, because they have guns in their hand. So, I mean, right there, you obviously are giving me reason to believe that you're not just there to say hello. You're there, you're there to hurt someone.
Okay. Now, you kind of, when I was showing you that video before we started, you like had some criticism of the way that young woman handled the situation.
Well, I just felt like if they've got guns, I don't know that I would like be poking around my head around the corner being like, don't shoot over here. I think I would get in a position of like defense over somewhere off to the side, away from the door, and just wait for them to come in and then blast away, because then you're the element of surprise for them because they don't know where you're standing.
Sure.
They don't know. So if you're ready with your gun right at the door, it's going to take them longer to get you in target as it will for you to get them in target.
That
was my thought.
I think what that young girl heard is I think she heard a bunch of people come in screaming and yelling.
She didn't know what was happening.
And she didn't know there were actually guns involved yet.
Well, she said, don't shoot. She
true.
said, don't shoot. I have my boy in here.
Yeah.
So she knew they had guns.
So this is a great scenario, though, of why we need to make sure we really understand what you can and cannot do with your gun.
Yeah, because when something like that happens, that's not the time that you want to be asking yourself, like, am I allowed to shoot in this
Or
situation?
what is my plan? Right? Because that girl, if you guys saw in the video, right, one of the bullets went in front of her. Another bullet went behind her. So she was taking a position of concealment, but not a position of cover.
Right.
And when gunshots are coming at you, you need to be taking a position of cover. That's something you can hide behind that's actually going to stop those bullets.
I don't know if there's anything in the bedroom that would stop it, but